Drunken driver hits our client at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, then hides in a Dunkin Donuts while our client stays in the hospital with her broken ribs and injured back and neck. And welcome to this week's Client Victory. My name is Shane Smith from Shanesmithlaw. I'm here today talking with one of our attorneys, Carrie Ibsen, about one of her recently settled cases, LS. Carrie, tell me a little bit about this case that you were able to get resolved.
Yeah, Shane, LS was an important case for me. It hit home. The accident occurred about 10 minutes from my house in an intersection that I drive through every day and my 16-year-old daughter drives through every day. So this one, when I got a copy of the accident report and spoke to the client, it hit home. She was with a previous attorney and just was not happy with the communication she was having with her attorney. She came to us and she really wanted just an understanding of what was going on. And the details of the accident are horrific. She had a green light and was going through the intersection, and the driver ran a red light, crashed into her. And when I say crash, I mean she broadsided her and pushed her car through the intersection into a parking lot.
Wow.
The driver, who was a female, jumped out of the car and ran into the Dunkin Donuts and hid in the bathroom until the police arrived. She was arrested at the scene for driving a stolen vehicle and drunk driving.
Oh, wow. So
yeah, it was awful. I mean, my daughters go there for breakfast before school, and it just, some cases really hit home for you, and this one hit home for me.
Yeah, it sounds like it, and I can imagine, because like you say, it just brings it home. And you think about your kids driving through that intersection.
Yeah.
It could have been you.
It could have been any one of us. And it was at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. This wasn't something at 2 in the morning. It's 4 in the afternoon. LS is an older lady, and she was just out running some errands.
Wow. What kind of injuries did she have from the accident?
She was injured. She had some pretty severe back and neck injuries and several broken ribs. She was taken to the local hospital by ambulance where they diagnosed the broken ribs. When she came to us, she had seen a chiropractor who can only do so much with broken ribs.
Yeah, right.
We got her into an orthopedic doctor and got her treated for the back of the neck injuries.
Okay. And did she recover from the broken ribs and the back and neck injuries?
She did recover physically. This is one of these accidents that she will never recover emotionally. And every time she goes to that area, she thinks about it. And I think that's an important part of our cases. It's not just about getting them to the doctor. Obviously, that is a huge factor for us. We've got to get our clients better, but we also have to address the emotional component that she's scared to drive now.
Right. And the fact that it happened at 4 o'clock in the afternoon probably made it much, much worse, because she's thinking, well, how will I ever drive her? When's safe to drive?
Exactly. Yeah. There's that saying that what happens after midnight, something like that. But in this case, right, she's just driving in the afternoon.
Wow. How did the fight with the insurance company go?
Well, it got a little bit complicated, and we had to get creative because the person who was arrested for DUI was in a stolen car. So there was no insurance to for lack of a better term, go against, because if someone steals your car and does something like that, you can't be held responsible. Right. So we had to get a little creative and look towards uninsured motorist coverage. And we recovered the policy limits from that policy of the uninsured. So basically, you're hit by someone, they don't have insurance, you have to use an uninsured motorist coverage.
Okay. And how was LS at the end of the case? What'd she think?
She was very happy. She's still very much dealing with the emotional trauma from this, but the doctors did an incredible job, really helped her neck and back. Her ribs healed, and she was very happy with the medical treatment we were able to provide to her. One thing she was extremely happy about is when she was taken to the hospital, she had an incredibly high hospital bill because of all the scans that were run on her due to her age and the broken ribs. We were able to get that bill to Medicare to cut that bill down to really increase her recovery.
Wow. Okay. Sounds like good work. What's something you learned from this case that you'll use for other cases, future cases?
I learned that clients not just need to physically get better, they also need to understand what's going on because they feel so lost and scared. And when she came to us from this other attorney, she just said, everyone's talking to me and I don't understand what they're saying. So I just spent some time with her and explained, okay, this is the criminal process, which this person is going to go through. We're going to help you through this. And I laid it out. I laid everything out for her, and that knowledge was power for her.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. And sometimes clients feel lost in the system. We use words they don't use or understand a lot. And I think too often attorneys get in a rush and forget that, this client only has one case, one claim, and it's not what they do all day, every day. So they skip over some of the stuff thinking they're going to understand or don't need to know.
And one other thing that I think it's important for clients to understand when this is a DUI or drunk driving case, the district attorney is involved, and there is laws in North Carolina about victims and their rights, and victims have a right to be heard. So not only can we go after the insurance and get them compensated that way, but I gave her information to get in touch with the district attorney so she could be heard in court also. So when this person pleads guilty or is found guilty, she has a voice, and that helps the emotional part, is to know that that person's being held accountable and know that their message was sent to that person, the effect they had on their life.
Sounds like as good a result as you could get for LS. And I'm glad she was happy and got some resolution, because I think that's, like you say, part of the issue for her and the difficulties as well. And great job, Carrie. For our listeners, thanks for listening. Remember, hit subscribe down below so you see our future updates and future client victories. Remember, if you're in pain, call Shane, 980-999-9999. We'll be going over another case next week. Hope to see you there.
980-999-9999. 980-999-9999. Shanesmithlaw.